Hi, welcome to my channel, Takoyaki Tarot. Today is January 9th, 2023, 11:46 a.m. So, I already have one video up for today. So, this video is going to be for the Aries love reading for January 2023. Yay! I was going to do it a couple days ago, but I got kind of backed up with a lot of stuff. So, I'm doing it now. And let's see what else. Well, let me just get through this first. For those of you that have been watching, I really appreciate that. Thanks for, you know, liking, taking the time out to watch my videos, subscribing, commenting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really, I'm just glad that my messages are helpful. So that's good. Aside from that, I will start off with my prayer of protection before I keep, rambling on. I pray to God and call upon Archangel Michael and any ancestors, angels, and spirits of the highest white light that love me unconditionally to continue to protect me and my family during this time. Please help us see things clearly and to help us remove the fog of illusion that has led us down a false path in the past. Amen. For me, thank you. I got a drawing. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. She is so cute. She just wanted to hang out with me. Oh my god, so sweet. So, whoa, you okay? Thank you. I'm gonna put it right here, okay? I'm going to try to make this love reading for Aries fairly quick, but we'll see what happens. 2. Hold on, we're counting now. Okay, so yes, Aries, thank you. Aries love reading. Sorry, I know from your perspective, you're just like, you already said that like 3 times. And from my perspective, there's like, because I have to pause the recording, so there's like gaps between the times. That's pretty much it, really. Alright. I'm going to be using my love and relationships deck for Aries love reading for January 2023. So again, if you've seen my love readings for, what did I do? I did Libra and Scorpio so far. You understand, well, by watching that video, you would know that this deck is very particular. There's a very particular way as to how this deck is laid out and read and interpreted as well. So, and again, I've had this deck since middle school. Yeah, I've had this deck since middle school. Okay. So, it's not really... I don't know if it discontinued this deck. I've said this last time too. It's my love and relationships deck. I have the paper it came with still, so I'll check that out. So, but if anybody is interested in this particular deck, let me know, and then I'll try to find the deck in particular, and I'll post a link to it on my community board. So I like how the cards came out easily for Aries. I think it was Scorpio that the cards were like they did not want to come out. No, was it Libra? Which one? It was the last one that I did. Either Scorpio or Libra. But these cards came out easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So Aries, you want to know. All right, let me look at these cards before I get into it. We have the storyteller initiates romance. The storyteller. initiates romance. I feel like this is, I mean, aside from the original story that's in the cards, I feel like Aries, you guys have a habit of telling stories. This, I don't mean this in like like you guys be lying, not like that, but I feel like you guys tend to be very good at when it comes to storytelling. All right. You know how to make, when you're telling a story, you know how to make it very my phone just lit up. Very animated and very like intriguing, right? You kind of like when you tell a story, people like lean in, you know. But anyways, let me get to this. Share and compare your life and philosophy with others. Accentuate the positive as you confront fears and assert yourself. Show you have enough passion and courage to take action to patiently show you accept your love interest as is. Invest the time and effort to do so. So, Aries, I feel like you, being the person that you are, you like to tell stories. Okay, so however, in this particular case, when you're telling stories, all right, like I said, this is very specific for love and relationships. Okay, so whether you are in a relationship or not, when you're telling a story, try to try to stay away from the negative aspects of a story. All right, accentuate the positive. Try to be a little bit more encouraging and positive. All right, nobody really likes somebody like, nobody wants to hear a story that's always negative all the time or always complaining all the time, right? I'm not saying that you Aries do this, but when you're telling a story, try to be a little bit more positive with it. All right, because if you're trying to tell somebody something and the energy you're portraying that story to be is very just like a damper, like gloomy, it's gonna just ruin the way you're trying to convey the story. Confront fears and assert yourself. Show you have enough passion and courage to take action. I feel like you tend to hide behind some sort of like wall when it comes to your emotions. It's like you're hiding from your own emotions. Hold on. My phone is just going off. Hold on. All right. So my phone should be good for now. Yeah. Try not to be not passive aggressive. That's not the right word. I feel like don't like Aries has a reputation. Let me just say this, okay? Aries has a reputation of being like very aggressive and kind of like a bully. But I feel like that tends to be a cover because, you know, most Aries are just really big softies. They just hide behind that tough exterior. A lot of the reasons why, especially in love and relationship, is because you guys are afraid to love. You guys are afraid to open up. You guys are afraid of that possibility of getting hurt. Let me just say this. If you're trying to be in a loving, romantic relationship, your partner doesn't want to... People don't want to be with someone who's always bullying them and then always be like, oh, but I love you. You know? Especially if your person knows that you really are a big softie, but you're constantly just putting on this tough exterior. If that makes sense, okay? I'm trying to word it as clear as I can. But like my head is like jumbled up, like the way it's in my head. All right. So just, you know, be a little bit. Hold on. All right, I'm back. As you can see, my daughter is awake, so I'm gonna have to, like I said, pause and have gaps in the recording. Anyways, show you accept your love interest as is and invest the time and effort to do so. So I know one thing about Aries, not all Aries, you know, and it's not just specifically with Aries, right? But for this reading, it's coming up. One thing you guys like to do is, under the guise of tough love or whatever, or just joking, like maybe you'll tease your partner about something or bully your partner about something. But the thing is, the way it comes across, it actually is a type of bullying. You guys just don't. You may not see that. You guys may just see it as joking or haha, or just teasing. But it actually, it's kind of offensive. All right. So just try not to be hard on your person, Aries. All right. And just try not to, tease all the time. My phone keeps going off. All right. And I'm now like, leave me alone. Okay. Let me just move on. There's something here, like I feel like Aries, you want to be like wined and dined, and like you want the passion, you want to feel the passion, and you want to feel the love, and you want to feel that feeling. But because I feel like I said this for Libra too, but because but this is different though, because you can come off like as a little aggressive and a little like mean about it. It's not really giving you're not getting the reaction you want, because if you're giving love in a mean way, it's going to make you feel some type of way when you're not getting the lovey-dovey reaction that you expect, you know. Tell your tale and listen to as others tell their tale to you. We everybody has a story, right? We all have a story, but try not to be like, I have a story, my story matters only. Okay? Find the point at which you meet and form a bond that's strong and sweet. But if your life's a tale of woe, be slow to let bad feelings show. This is what I'm talking about. But if your life's a tale of woe, be slow to let bad feelings show. Nobody I really don't try to be mean when I do readings. All right? But you can't always be coming across as gloomy, negative, melancholy, and then expect everyone to be, yay Aries, yay Aries, yay Aries. You know what I mean? Because it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, your person is, or this could even be your person, that's being this way towards you, Aries. But for the most part, I feel like your person, like, nobody wants to be always near a Debbie Downer, especially when they're telling a story or when they're sharing a meal. Like, I know some Aries, they always have a habit of like making a positive turn into a negative, right? And again, that's not all Aries, but you guys really tend to have a habit of, seeing the worst in things and then like pointing it out, but then expecting, positivity to come your way. So you can't always point out the negativity in your partner or always tell them a bad story and then immediately like still have the energy to be positive, happy go lucky. So if you not saying that you have to stop with your sad stories or stop being gloomy and melancholy, all right? But if you really do want to share something very important with your partner, try not to do it 24/7. I just saw 1333. Like, there's nothing wrong with, expressing joy and happiness. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't always have to be gloomy and mean and sad and mad and angry and huffing and puffing all the time, right? It takes a toll on people around you, right? If you're always negative, why? And then you expect everyone to be positive around you. How can that be when you're always negative, right? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Also, I'm also not saying that you have to be positive and go lucky all the time, because that's also not possible. But just find some balance, okay? For some of you, this could just be, this might be just a little bit deeper than that. I'm not going to get into it, but so it might be difficult for you to find some balance. But if you're gonna be happy, like, just don't be, you don't have to be dark and gloomy and like pessimistic 7 days out of the week, okay? Because that shit gets exhausting, right? Like, you don't want to be known as a Debbie Downer all the time, or like I don't know, what's the male phrase for that? Either way, whether you're masculine or feminine, it's I don't know, being around a pessimist is It's just exhausting. It's too much. All right. So try to work on finding some balance, Anyways, you'll quickly get the love you want. The time is near. Be confident. Be the first to find your way. Don't question, dally, or delay. Cut right to the matter's heart and make your point like Cupid's dart. Yeah, I feel like sometimes, Aries, you guys have a habit of beating around the bush when it's, when you have to get a point across, or when you're trying to tell a story, or when you're trying to prove a point. You tend to have a habit of beating around the bush. And this may not even be about storytelling. This may even be about matters when it comes to yourself, right? For example, like Aries, if you have a situation that you have to deal with within yourself, you tend to beat around the bush and like you try to put a band-aid on the surface issue, and they'd be like, okay, well, that's good enough, right? Come to find out, obviously it's not fixed, all right? Try not to do that, because when you do that, you're only delaying yourself. You have the potential to find love. You have love within your reach. It's not like it's impossible, right? It's there for you. You're able to have it. But you also have to know when to be like, I don't want to be mean when I say this. Like, there's always a time and place for that dark and gloomy shit. All right, just like, you always, like, it's like there's always a time and place for laughing and joking, right? It's not always appropriate to laugh, especially if it's like a wrong time to laugh. I hope that makes sense. All right, I'm trying to explain this the best way that I can. But you're going to realize, you're going to quickly notice that when you stop, in a sense, bullshitting yourself, it's going to just stop. Just stop. Okay? Because I feel like at this point, Aries, not all Aries, but for the Aries that this is coming up for, you just bullshit yourself so much that, you're not where you want to be, or you're not getting the reaction that you want to get, or you're not, seeing the outcome that you want to see. And it's because sometimes you just have to be real with yourself. All right? And try to be a little bit more confident. All right? I know everybody struggles with confidence, but I feel like you tend to be a little insecure when it comes to love. And that could be because you struggle with self-love. Patiently show you accept your love interest as is. Invest the time and effort to do so. Moving on. The fires of romance can be fueled by following this golden rule. Appreciate your man each day. Respect your woman, come what may. Show it with a dramatic flair. True romance is in the air. So you obviously have the passion. Now you should try to work on that unconditional love. Try not to be fickle when it comes to it. All right, people want to be accepted for who they are. Granted, there are no red flags. And if there are red flags, you're working on those red flags, and the relationship is not toxic and it's healthy, yada, 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 right? But try not to, especially when it comes to that bullying or being that mean, aggressive thing, try not to do that to your partner to get them to change and to what you want them to be. It's kind of like, don't bully me to be what you want me to be, right? And when you guys are having some hard, tough times, go through it together. Don't just be like, oh, well, he is doing this or she is doing that. If you're in a relationship, at some point, it's no longer he and me, or he, me, they, whoever. At some point, it's going to be, this is our problem that we can get through together. All right? So, I mean, if you guys have been together for like a month, that's like your problem. Let me stop. But yeah, I don't know. Just try not to be so pessimistic about love in general. All right. You guys have the energy. You guys are very energetic. You're very passionate. I feel like when it comes to the emotional sense, you can be a little insecure. It could be because when you guys love, there's like a lot of passion. But then once that initial passion, you guys have to also keep on working that, keep that spark going. All right? Keep that spark going. If you feel like that spark is going away, don't let it, make you all depressed and sad. What can you do to keep that spark going? You can't always rely on that spark every single day. You gotta, sometimes, if that spark does go out, and you really care about the relationship, sometimes you have to do a little bit more than just sex to keep that spark going, all right? Sometimes you need to be a little bit more intimate. And intimacy doesn't always just mean sex. It could just be, having a nice talk together, opening up, being a little nurturing, a little bit more caring, maybe doing a hobby together. So, like, you guys have the passion down perfect, okay? Just, try to be a little bit more, try to have intimacy without the intimacy. But you guys definitely, you guys, for some of you Aries, you guys could already be in a relationship, but for others of you, you guys have the very strong potential of being in a relationship. There's just some work that you guys have to do. All right, let me get some tarot. And then I'm going to close it off. There's something about pride. There's something about pride. It's like you guys are, try not to hide behind a false sense of pride when it's actually your insecurities. It's kind of like there's nothing wrong with being your own hype man, but when you're doing it so much that you're just, like I said, you're bullshitting yourself. All right. Okay, let me get some tarot. 21 minutes in. All right. We have the Moon reverse and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, that's sad. I feel like, Aries, the reason why you tend to be a little bit so pessimistic is because you're afraid that people knew the real you. They wouldn't want to be with you. So I feel like that's why you tend to already be just pessimistic, or you already be, mean or aggressive. It's kind of like, well, I don't need your love, right? It's kind of like that energy. Like, all right, if you don't love me, fuck you, I don't care. It's kind of like that. But Aries, you do want love. You do want a relationship. You want a union. You want marriage, all right? Stop bullshitting yourself. All right? Stop. That's really what you're afraid of, that if they knew the real you, they wouldn't want to be with you. But how can you... That's another thing, too. All right? That's, stop assuming the worst. All right? Stop assuming the worst. Stop expecting the worst. Now, I'm not saying don't keep your guard up, because there's nothing wrong with being aware. But at the same time, if you don't let yourself be seen when it comes to your person, they're never going to see you. They're never going to see you. And then what's going to happen? You're never going to be able to show who you really are. And then you're just going to be like mean and aggressive and, love is fake and this and that. Well, how can you expect real love if you're not even showing who you really are? That's one of the main reasons why Aries has such a hard time accepting other people for as they are in relationships, because they themselves have trouble accepting themselves for who they are, right? Let alone being in a relationship. Now you got to accept yourself as you are and them as they are. No. That's too much work. Work on yourself first, okay? For those of you that are not in a relationship. All right. Also, try to figure out what it is about yourself that you're so afraid of people knowing, or your person knowing, right? It could be that you're just really hiding some sort of insecurities about yourself, and you're afraid that they're not going to like you because of your hair, or, your past, or, I don't know, your feet, or some shit. I don't know. That's your insecurities. You would know. Again? We have Judgment in reverse. Confront fears and assert yourself. Yeah, I feel like you guys judge yourself way too harshly. You know, you confront yourself, your fears, and assert yourself. Confront your fears and ask yourself, like, what your biggest fears are, especially when it comes to love and relationships. What scares you the most? And once you figure that out, deal with it. Assert the situation. What is this card? Eight of Swords in reverse. You want to be free from all of this. This mental. I feel like you have a habit of trapping yourself mentally, which makes you feel depressed and gloomy. Like, oh, they're not going to love me for me. They're not going to love me for me. But because this fell on top of these cards, you want to break free from that. You want to be free from that mental prison that you tend to put yourself in. All right? That makes you come across as gloomy, or that it just makes you. I feel like this may not even be you coming across gloomy to a person. This could just be the way you come across to yourself. For some of you, this could just be about self-love and the relationship that you have with yourself. I feel like you want to be able to be free from this and work with yourself to overcome your insecurities and, you know, overcome that, I don't know, the bullshit that you be telling yourselves. All right, you want to get away from that. But you have to also stop judging yourself. Figure it out why you're judging yourself so much. What is it, all right? And when you realize it, when you face that, don't be like, "Oh my god, okay, I can't do this anymore." All right? The best way to have a healthy relationship with another person is to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. So I do really feel like for a lot of Aries, this is talking about a love relationship with yourself. Loving yourself, working with yourself, being in tune with yourself, having a union with yourself, being in balance with yourself, you know? Ooh. We have the Sun, but it came out horizontally on romance. I feel like you want to be happy, but at the same time, you're also scared of showing the true you. All right, and that's making you like you want your person to be happy, or you know, for those of you that this is for yourself, you want to be happy, but there's still a part of you that has trouble judging, you know, letting go of that self-judgment. We have the Page of Swords, or what is it? Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah, be careful because you're going to end up blocking yourself or from this love relationship, right? By being in this very dark place when it comes to yourself. It's going to block you from finding happiness or being in a happy relationship because, like, as I said, if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, how do you expect to have a healthy relationship outside of yourself? What is this? The High Priestess. I feel like you're struggling to come to terms with this. Like part of you knows this is what you have to come to terms with yourself. But then another part of you like wants to be in denial, like you don't want to see it. You're only going to be blocking yourself with the Page of Wands in reverse. You're just blocking yourself at this point, Aries. And as much as you want to be happy, if you continue to block yourself, it's not going to happen. Because at the end of the day, you have the power to make yourself happy. You have the power to love yourself. All right? Now, people say, oh, if you can't love yourself, it's okay to find other people who love you. All right? But what happens when that other party leaves? Right? What happens when they leave? Your whole happiness was leached off of somebody else. So that quote really bothers me because people be like, oh, if you can't live for yourself, find something else to live for. What happens when that thing is gone? Right? So I feel like Aries, stop bullshitting yourself. Stop blocking yourself. Stop trying to avoid working with yourself. Stop judging yourself. I know that's easier said than done, but this is where you have to start. All right? If you're already in a relationship and you're having problems, try to go within to see if, you know, if there's anything that has to do with you. If it's not an abusive relationship, right? If it's, you know, if it started off as healthy, but now all of a sudden you guys are having issues, you know, And you're noticing that a lot of insecurities are coming up, a lot of jealousy, a lot of whatever, but it's really mostly from your end, Aries. Try to figure that out. Also, if this is your person being this way with you, try to talk to them, see, what's really going on, what the real issue is. But for the most part, like I said, this is a reading for Aries having a personal relationship with themselves. 7 of Cups. I feel like this is really Aries too. I feel like to avoid having to do the work, avoid having to look at the inner you, which is so scary, you like to dangle a lot of options in front of you. You purposely go out to have multiple options, so that way all of these options, you don't have time to have a deep connection with one particular person, because having a deep connection with one particular person forces you to look within yourself. So instead of doing that, Aries, you like to have an option here, an option here, an option here. You're just focusing on the surface levels. You're distracting yourself with the furnace. Wow, with the I just said it, with the surface shit. You know what I mean? King of Swords reverse. Stop lying to yourself. All right, stop lying to yourself. I feel like you lying to yourself is just gonna make you be in a really bad place mentally. All right. So I feel like I'm going to end this reading here for Aries, January 2023 love reading. It's really hard to love yourself, okay? But to be honest with you, if you love yourself, once you have that relationship where you can love yourself and you have a healthy relationship with yourself, I'm telling you, it's going to be so much easier for you to be in healthy relationships, because you're already going to know what to expect, all right? You're already going to be able to see. With the High Priestess here, you're already going to be able to see what's good for you and what's not. All right. I hope this helps. I hope you get something from it, Aries. Whether you're a masculine or a feminine watching this, I hope you learn to love yourself and be a little kinder to yourself. Because when it becomes easier to accept yourself for who you are and actually love yourself and work with yourself, it's going to be easier for you to be in a healthy, happy, loving relationship, union, marriage, kids, right? Because that's what you really want. You want that. But you're scared. All right? So figure out what that is. All right? Bye.